Hey guys, back with another story time. This is a crazy one. This is about another guy that I had met years and years ago off of one of those dating apps. And I'm going to tell you why, especially you little young girls, why you should never meet a man off of the internet. The ones on the streets are just as, evil, but the ones you meet on the internet, those you got to be careful because they're already looking for your information if they don't already have it. So yeah. I'm actually gonna say the dating site. It was one called Badoo, and I know a lot of you know about that app, and a lot of your boyfriends are on there. That I know for sure. So yeah, I had met this guy. I would say 2016, and when we met, whatever, we're getting along, whatever, and I was really naive at that time too. Like I knew what I was doing, but I just, for some reason, trusted guys, and it's just crazy. Now I don't, because I'm older and I'm wiser. But anyway, so yeah, I met this guy, and I'm gonna fast forward up until the part where we were supposed to meet, where we did meet. So we were talking, getting to know each other, whatever, and his English wasn't too good. And I didn't know as much Spanish as I know now. So we met, whatever, and he was like, before we talk and stuff, like get to know each other more, I want to tell you something. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, you can tell me, I don't judge or anything. So he said, oh my God, Melissa, if you see this, you know who I'm talking about. And this is not funny, but I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing at the end. So he told me, I have only 9 fingers. So I don't mean to laugh, please, God forgive me. So I'm like, all right, it's fine. Like, it was nothing to me, I don't look at anyone different because they have 9 fingers or whatever amount of fingers. But, so yeah, we start talking. We're talking for a couple of months actually, and I asked him one day like, how did it happen? Because he didn't want to explain like there at that moment when we met. So I respected that. So we were going out, eating places, stuff like that, and I decided like it was a good time to ask like, what happened to his finger. So he was kind of like dismissive at the time when I asked him, and I just wanted to know, and that's not something easy to really talk about. But yeah, so he said that he was like at a job, and I don't know if it was like a job where they destroy things like metal scraps, stuff like that. But I guess something like a machine fell on his hand and chopped his thumb off. So, it was kind of like, I couldn't believe it. Because, I wasn't too educated at that time. But, time went by and we were still talking, whatever. But I started to notice, like, he was kind of, like, weird. And I don't know, he was just like weird. He was kind of like scary. So one time we were sitting in I think it was Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or whatever, and we had got a coffee, and I was trying to offer help to open the coffee because you need your thumb to grip the coffee with one hand and your other thumb, or the other fingers to open up the coffee, the lid. So he got mad and he said, I got it. He yelled at me. But I said, I'm sorry, I was just trying to help you. He said, no, I got it. So I'm not disabled. So I'm like, all right, I didn't mean anything bad. So yeah, whatever, we went about our day and, And, I didn't ask him any more questions about that accident that he had. He was saying that he did sue them, that they didn't want to give him the amount that he deserved, which, I assumed that's like a $1 million injury because he lost a finger. So as time went by, you know, I started to not really like him anymore because I didn't like the attitude. You know, I think maybe he was like humiliated because of his finger and stuff. So, and he started to like curse and stuff like around my kids, and I wasn't gonna have that. You know, they were little, they were innocent. So whatever, we stopped talking, and then all of a sudden, I start getting messages. I think it was on like a text-free app. I'm not too sure. I would never really remember. And he was calling me all kinds of names. Like I said, Melissa, if you see this, you know what I'm talking about. And if I'm not mistaken, I still have the messages. I have to check somewhere in my account. And he was calling me, you fat bee, this, and that. And he was sending voice messages. So they were so funny. I would show my cousin and we will die laughing. Like literally die laughing. Because it was the accent. He's Puerto Rican too, like straight from PR. So I would just die laughing. It was so funny to this day. So then whatever, I didn't answer to any of that. And then I guess he saw he wasn't getting my attention that way. So weeks later, he started texting me like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you those things, you know. I thought you stopped talking to me because you were talking to someone else. And it wasn't even that, you know, he was just a narcissist. He didn't, you know, narcissists, they think they never do anything wrong or they gaslight you. So that was really it. And so I was like, you know, it's fine, whatever. I understand how you're feeling, you know, how you feel. So this is the banger right here. I asked him what was going on, like with his lawsuit and stuff. Like, did they ever give him what he was entitled to? So he said, yeah, they ended up giving me $800 and something thousand. So with that money, he went and they gave him an option to get a fake finger. I don't know how. I don't know if it was like, because he still had like the stub of the thumb. So I don't know if they were gonna like, you know, put something together surgically for him. I don't know. So I asked him like, are you gonna do it? So long story short, he said that he ended up amputating his index finger, and he took that index finger and they surgically attached it to his thumb. Now he was left without an index finger. And that's when I knew that I dodged a bullet with someone that was not mentally there. So yeah, ladies, because I know a lot of us could be in our 30s and we'll still feel vulnerable to just get with anybody, but thank God this happened when I was young, because I'm so wise now. And for the young girls, don't go meeting men off the internet, especially Badu. There's a lot of mentally unstable people. I don't want to use that word, but very unstable men on there that are looking for targets and victims. And I consider myself lucky because the first guy, that was like someone from Facebook, which is not as scary, but there's no difference. And I dodged a bullet twice, and I learned to stop playing with my luck. So don't meet a woman or a man off of those dating sites, because you will get into things that I got into. So yeah, that was the end of that story time. So if you like the story time, you want to hear more, I have a lot more, drop a comment below. And please don't forget to follow. That's going to help me build my community. And, you know, like I said, I want to do all kinds of content, anything that's interesting. So yeah, if you like my story time, please like it and comment anything else that you might want me to talk about. And that's it. Thank you for the support.